Hey, Vista family! Ever been driving and noticed your car hesitating, losing power, or idling erratically? Chances are you might be dealing with a bad throttle position sensor. In today's video, we're diving deep into the signs of a faulty throttle position sensor, how to diagnose it, and some tips on fixing the issue before it leads to bigger problems. Trust me, this is one problem you don't want to ignore because it can turn your smooth ride into a rough nightmare. So if your car's been acting up lately, stay tuned. Before we start, a quick disclaimer. This video is for informational purposes only. If you suspect a throttle position sensor problem, always consult a professional mechanic for a proper diagnosis and repair. Tampering with your vehicle's sensors without the right tools and expertise can lead to further damage. Let's get into it. What is a throttle position sensor? To keep it simple, your throttle position sensor is a small but crucial component that monitors the position of your throttle plate. It tells your car's engine control unit how far the throttle is open, which determines how much air enters the engine. The ECU uses this information to adjust the fuel-air mixture, ensuring your car runs smoothly. In other words, if your throttle position sensor isn't working correctly, your car might lose power, stall, or even struggle to accelerate. Signs of a bad throttle position sensor. So how do you know if your throttle position sensor is going bad? Here are the most common warning signs to look out for. 1. Erratic or unstable idling. One of the first symptoms of a bad TPS is unstable or erratic idling. If your car's RPMs are fluctuating even when you're at a standstill, the sensor might be sending incorrect data to the ECU. You might notice the car revving up unexpectedly or dropping idle speed, making the engine feel like it's about to stall. 2. Sudden surges or hesitation. Does your car suddenly surge forward or hesitate when you press the gas pedal? That's a classic sign of a faulty TPS. When the sensor gives out incorrect signals, it can cause the car to unexpectedly gain or lose power, making driving not just uncomfortable but also dangerous. 3. Poor acceleration or reduced power. If you notice a loss of power when trying to accelerate, especially when merging onto highways or climbing hills, it could be due to a TPS issue. The ECU can't correctly gauge how much air and fuel the engine needs, resulting in sluggish acceleration. 4. Check engine light. The check engine light is your car's way of telling you that something's wrong. While this light can indicate a variety of issues, a bad TPS will usually trigger a specific P0120 or P0220 trouble code. If you have an OBD2 scanner, you can check for these codes yourself. Otherwise, a mechanic can help pinpoint the issue. 5. Difficulty changing gears in automatic transmissions. If you're driving an automatic and notice the car struggling to shift gears, it might be due to a bad TPS. The sensor's data affects the transmission's shift points, so a malfunctioning TPS can make gear changes rough or delayed. 6. Engine stalling or misfiring. In severe cases, a failing TPS can cause your engine to stall or misfire. This usually happens when the ECU receives no signal or an extremely erratic signal, causing the engine to shut down. If your car is stalling frequently, this could be a red flag for a TPS problem. Diagnosing a bad throttle position sensor. If you're experiencing one or more of the above symptoms, it's time to diagnose the issue. Here's how to check for a bad TPS. 1. Use an OBD2 scanner. Plug in an OBD2 scanner to your car's diagnostic port and check for TPS-specific codes like P0120, P0121, P0122, or P0220. If any of these codes pop up, it's a strong indication that your throttle position sensor is at fault. 2. Voltage test. With a multimeter, you can test the sensor's voltage. A healthy TPS should produce a smooth increase in voltage from around 0.2 to 4.8 volts as you press the throttle. If there are spikes, drops, or no voltage changes, the sensor is likely bad. 3. Physical inspection. Sometimes the issue isn't the sensor itself, but the wiring or connectors. Inspect the sensor's connectors for corrosion, loose wires, or broken terminals. Repair any damaged wiring and see if the problem persists. Fixing a faulty throttle position sensor. If you've confirmed that your TPS is the culprit, here's what you can do. First, clean the throttle body. A dirty throttle body can sometimes mimic the symptoms of a bad TPS. Try cleaning the throttle body with a throttle body cleaner before replacing the sensor. If the problem goes away, the sensor might be okay. Now, if cleaning doesn't help, it's time to replace the TPS. The process typically involves disconnecting the battery, removing the electrical connector from the sensor, unbolting the sensor from the throttle body, installing the new sensor, and reconnecting everything. Some vehicles require recalibration of the TPS after installation. This can be done using a professional scan tool. If you skip this step, the new sensor might not communicate correctly with the ECU. Finally, after replacing the sensor, take the car for a test drive. Make sure the symptoms have disappeared and that the car accelerates and idles smoothly. Possible cost of replacement. Replacing a throttle position sensor isn't the most expensive repair, but it's not the cheapest either. Depending on your vehicle's make and model, a new TPS could cost anywhere from $50 to $250, excluding labor. If you're handy with tools, you can save on labor costs by installing it yourself. Just remember that improper installation can lead to even more issues. Preventative maintenance tips. To keep your throttle position sensor healthy, avoid harsh driving habits that can wear out the sensor. Regularly clean the throttle body and inspect the sensor's wiring. Also, replace air filters frequently to prevent dirt buildup around the throttle body. And there you have it, folks. Everything you need to know about the signs, symptoms, and fixes for a bad throttle position sensor. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Vista for more auto tips, DIY guides, and everything cars. Have you ever experienced a bad TPS? Let us know in the comments below. See you in the next video. Keep those engines running smoothly.